Okay guys, ready for our webinar. Here we go. Hello, and thanks for taking the time to join this free webinar today. My name is Dale Bateman. I'm a part-time internet marketer living near Toronto, Canada. My background is in graphic design, marketing, and personal training. Plus, I've been building my online business as a part-time internet marketer for almost 4 years. Now, before I get started with today's free webinar, let me share with you what I believe is the #1 mistake that most internet marketers make. And yes, this includes me, especially when they are just getting started. Because I'm truly passionate about wanting to help people achieve more success in their lives, and hopefully you will learn from my mistakes. As you know, many people have had great success online. However, without even realizing it, they were creating only a short-term business model. Why? They didn't build a list. They create a multitude of products to sell online. Some are good, most are not so good. They sell them through forums, affiliates, and advertising. Maybe they make a lot of money. Most of the time they don't. Why? They didn't build a list. Some of the greatest online marketers have had pockets of success by leveraging things like Google AdSense. By implementing simple keyword strategies early on, some brought in a whopping 6-figure income. But then, Google changed the rules, and these once successful online marketers were left with almost nothing. Can you guess why? That's right. They didn't build a list. So why is a good list so important? Quite simply, a quality list will continue to pay you for your quality online content over and over and over again. It all comes down to the trust that you earn from your email list. They learn to trust you because you've taken the time to build a strong relationship with them. So, what's the best way to build a strong, loyal list? That's what we're going to be covering in this free webinar series. Now, I want to officially welcome you to this free internet marketing webinar. Let's get started. Grab a pen and some paper to make notes. Once the webinar is over, I'll open the floor for some Q&A. Right now, I'm doing high-level internet marketing and creating automated and passive sources of income online. Plus, I'm enjoying teaching people, just like you, how to do the same thing and make money online. But this time around, I'm making sure that everyone on my team is focused on building a list. Don't make the same mistakes that I made. Make sure that you take the strategies you will learn here and use them to build a strong, loyal email list. But remember, when you are successful, make certain that you take time for what's really important in your life, like spending more time with your family, or maybe doing some traveling you've always wanted to do, or being able to buy that new car you have always wanted. I mean, that's what's so great about working from home. You have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, and as much as you want. Now, let's get to building you a good list. Here's what we'll be covering tonight. This week, we're going to be talking about the importance of selling. Now, guys, this is the 10th and final part of this webinar series. So I hope you've been able to take part in all of the other sessions up until now, and this is the final one where we're going to be talking specifically about selling yourself online, and more specifically than that, we're going to be talking about the sales pages and the importance of creating a quality sales page to sell your products and services online. So, without further ado, let's get things started. Not so long ago, when the computer was first mass-produced for selling to the public, a lot of industry experts predicted that nobody will want a box that does nothing besides handling data and hogging up the entire garage. They are obviously wrong. Nearly every household has at least one computer in the US, and most even have 2 or 3 desktops. This little bit of history tells us that no matter how good your product is, you cannot earn even a penny from it if you have a lousy salesperson. Likewise, no matter how good your product is, you cannot sell even one copy of it with a weak sales letter. Hence, it is vital to have a compelling sales letter that will pull the prospect right into it and see clearly the benefits that are presented against the very reasonable price you are charging. A good sales letter will first catch the attention of the reader by resonating with the reader's needs and desires. Very important. These are 2 things that we really have to be thinking about when we're creating our sales letters: the reader's needs and the reader's desires. What things does the reader need? What things does your target market need? And what do they desire? What problems do they want to be solved? What issues are they having that they want an answer for? All this kind of thing we have to be thinking of, because creating that within our sales letter is vital to getting it read, understood, and getting the best return from it. So that's why you often see headlines such as, "Have you ever felt blank?" or "Does blank sound familiar?" You know, we've all seen these types of headlines, and they work because they're asking you a question that relates to you, again, back to a need or a desire that you have. Have you ever felt something? Does something sound familiar? Okay. They work because they empathize with the reader's needs, problems, or desires. The internet is like a very busy freeway, and everyone's in a rush. Only a strong headline like that in big, bold letters will stop your target audience dead in their tracks to read through your sales letter. Once you've obtained your reader's attention with that very bold headline, you want to spend the first few paragraphs on telling your story. How you have gone through what your reader probably has, the agony of the whole experience, etc. You want to let them know that you understand what they're going through. You've gone through the same thing, and you've come up with a solution. And that's the basis for your product that you're selling to them. So you have to let them know that you understand exactly the agony of everything that they're going through, the problems that they're having. Okay? The things that they don't understand, that there is actually an easy fix for. And that's where your product comes in. Once you get your reader thinking, "He's one of us," you would be perceived as an understanding individual offering a solution and not an anonymous marketer looking to sell his product. Next, you have to elaborate on the benefits of the product you are selling. List them all on a piece of scrap paper until you have quite a long list. Then write your sales letter from there. There's no better way to get everything down on paper than just taking a scrap of paper and just writing it all out, guys. Take a look at your product from start to finish. What are all the aspects of it? What's everything that it can solve in terms of a problem? And list them out. Write them down, and then start creating your sales letter from that. In your sales letter, highlight the benefits in point form and elaborate on each benefit. Okay? So you're highlighting the benefits of your product. Okay? And people prefer to read those in point form. They don't want to read big long paragraphs of copy. They just don't have time for it. We mentioned about the busy freeway. They just want to read what you have to say quickly and move on to make a decision. These benefits are one of the main things that's going to either make or break your product in terms of getting a sale or not getting a sale. So make sure that you elaborate on each of the benefits in your sales letter or sales page, and make sure you're highlighting them all very clearly. Now, be sure to point out how your product, this is important, helps the reader instead of pointing out the features of the product. Okay, there's a big difference between features and benefits. All right, I talked here about highlighting the benefits in point form and elaborating on each benefit. So the benefits are the things that are going to help the reader. Okay, that's what they can take away. That's what they're going to gain when they get your product. All right, they're not going to care too much about the features of your product. There's features to a certain product or service, and then there's benefits. The benefits are the things that are important to the reader. Okay? You can talk about the features of a product all day long, but it's the benefits. How is this going to help me solve my problem? That's what's important to the reader. Okay? So make sure that you point out how your product helps the reader instead of just pointing out the features of the product. For example, instead of saying, "This gizmo cures headaches," you can say, "This gizmo can relieve your headaches." All right? See the difference there? And it doesn't take much. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference between those two statements. But it's making it relevant to the reader. That's what you want to accomplish with your copy in those bullet points. Get those benefits out and tell the reader how it's going to help them. Make it relevant to them, their problems, their issues, and what it's going to solve for them. All right? Then, write a paragraph or two on how the reader's life could be changed if the problem they are facing can be totally solved with the product. Okay? So we want to bring it back to the reader again and say, okay, let's talk about your specific problem and how this product can change that problem, and it can change your life in terms of having to deal with that problem. You no longer have to deal with it. If you purchase this product and use it, it will solve that problem. Okay? So we have to be very clear again how that works. It is important to use very descriptive words here so that the reader can use their imagination more easily. So you have to be descriptive when you're talking about, how the reader's life can be changed without having to face this problem anymore. Okay? Be very descriptive about it. Back a few slides ago, I talked about, telling them that, hey, you understand what they're going through. You went through the same thing. So describe all of those issues that you had and how you created this product and how that helped to get you out of that rut, helped you solve that particular problem, get you back on track and moving towards a solution. Okay? So again, very descriptive. You want to get them using their imagination. You want to have them imagining themselves using your product and having it work for them. And that's what the descriptive words in these statements will do. Okay? Now, finally, last of all, make a strong call for action. This is a must, guys. A strong call for action is so vital to an effective sales page or sales letter. Your final objective is to make your readers buy your product, okay? That's why you're doing this, okay? Yes, you want to help people. That's important, and there's lots of great things that can be said about that. But when it comes down to it, this is your business. You have to make sales to survive. Your final objective is to make your readers buy your product. So if you don't ask them to buy it, if you don't encourage them to buy it, if you just don't come out and say, buy this, then something's going to get lost in translation. Okay? They can think that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because of your great descriptive copy, your focus on benefits to them, how it's going to solve their problems. Your super catchy headline brought them in and it got them to keep reading. And there's all kinds of other parts that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But without that call for action, and you may think it's silly, you may think it's dumb that you would have to say, all right, you have the information, now it's time to buy. You might think that's something that goes without saying, or the readers at that point are just going to make that decision on their own. Well, they don't. They have to be told, all right, you have it now, you understand what it's all about, I know the problems you're having, I had them myself, here's the solution, you can see the benefits, you can imagine yourself solving your problem with this product, now buy it. Now, here's some examples. So it's important to make a final, strong call for action, be it click the buy button. Okay? Again, you may think this is silly, but it's so vital for you to have that statement in there at the very end of your sales letter or your sales page. You can even have it throughout your sales page. You know, that's what I do quite often is especially if I have a long sales page, I'll stick buy buttons in periodically throughout because people make buying decisions at different points based on their individual, okay? Not everybody is going to read the entire sales letter, okay? Some people will skim it very quickly. Some people will just read the main bold points. Some people will just read the bullet points. Some people will just scroll right down to the buy button and see how much it is without even reading anything else. Okay? And that's the truth. That's how people make decisions, how they make buying decisions. It's all dependent upon the individual. So you can never tell for sure what type of purchaser, what type of buyer your audience is. So you have to be ready for any particular situation. You have to be ready for people who just scroll to the bottom and look for the price and make their decision based on that. You also have to be ready for people who look carefully at every single word that you've written to make sure that it makes sense for them. There are both of those types of individuals out there. So by saying a strong call to action, be it click the buy button or whip out your credit card and so on, do not make the mistake of forgetting such an important step after coaxing your reader through the lengthy paragraphs of your sales page and your sales letter, okay? It's so vital to have that call to action at the end or throughout your sales letter. All right? So guys, now I hope you've found some benefit in that, and it's one thing to talk about and describe, excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink here. It's one thing to talk about and describe a sales letter or a sales page, but it's quite another to take a look at one and to break it down into parts And that's exactly what we're going to do right now to finish things up for this last webinar. Okay, I want to leave you guys with something extra special with this last in the series. So now I have a special gift for all of you. Okay, it's a totally customizable generic sales page template. Okay, and I'm giving this to you absolutely free. All you have to do is write down this link. Okay, I'm going to leave this up here. We're going to be going back and forth between the presentation here and the internet to show you this, but take a couple of seconds right now and write down this link. Okay, http://buildyoursuccessonline.com, that's my blog, /free-stuff. Okay, so buildyoursuccessonline.com /free-stuff. That link, when you key it into your browser, will take you to, and we're going to just leave the presentation for a moment here. It'll take you to this page right here. Okay, this is a page on my blog that I've created just for this situation. So you can see here, free stuff. Click this link to download your free generic sales page template. Okay, now what you're going to be downloading here is a zip file. It's a compressed file that has a few different files in it. The most important file that you're going to be looking at, and I'm just going to try to pull up an image here for you in a folder. Okay, so this is basically what the contents of the folder are. You've got an image folder within. Okay, you've got a few legal things, okay, that you're going to have as part of your sales page at the bottom. You know, terms of service, conditions of use, privacy policy, and a disclaimer. Very important things to have on your as part of your sales letter. But this is the important guy right here, this index.html file. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to grab this file and you're going to drag it or open it up in your web browser. Okay, it doesn't matter what web browser you're using. Okay, just going to pull that out of the way for now, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the generic sales page template that I'm giving you. So when you drag that index.html file into a browser, this is what you will see. All right, now this is totally customizable. Okay, the image folder that I showed you a few minutes ago, just a minute ago actually, just pull that up here. This image folder, this has got all the goodies that you're going to see in terms of the images that are used in the see, there's your header, your footer, and so on. Okay, your buy now button. Alright, just pull that out of the way. So guys, what I want to do is just take a few minutes, not too long, and just go through the different components that make up a good sales page. Now, as I said, everything here is customizable, and I'm going to bring this file back once more. This file right here, sales and thank you page editing notes. It's a text file. Okay, so you can open it up in any text software that just reads plain text documents. This file is very important, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Alright, this is the sales and thank you page editing notes. So, things to consider when editing the sales page and you're customer's download page. Okay, this is more dealing with just specifically the sales page. Okay, so don't worry about the download page, because that's not actually part of this. So as I said, the index.html file is very important. That's what's going to make everything change about your sales page. Okay, that's where you're going to make it, customize it to yourself. So what you're going to need is an HTML editor to do this. Now if you don't have one, you can get one free. It's called Composer. Alright, that's with a K. So just go to http://composer.net and you can get the free HTML editor there that you can use to make changes and customize your index.html file. Okay? Now, there's other instructions here that you can read through, and it basically walks you through how to change the contents of your file, your index.html file. Alright, so we're going to go back to the internet right now, and we're just going to go through this somewhat quickly. Okay, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. We're already almost at the 30-minute mark, and I try to keep these short and sweet. So your title will go here. Okay, this could be your product title. All right, it's already got this cool graphic here with the computer, and the graph with sales going through the roof, and graphs on paper and stuff like that. It looks all official, like it's to do with online or internet marketing. So you can use that, and you can just put in your product name here. Okay, so whether it's the title of your ebook that you're selling, maybe it's the title of your online course, maybe it's a webinar series like this that you're selling. Okay, then you've got your subtitle. Oops, that's all one graphic. So your subtitle you can put in here. Okay, that can be just a little subtitle about your product. Okay, so the world's best, if your title is the world's best internet marketing ebook, and then your subtitle could be something like learn the strategies that will make you rich in no time online, something like that. Okay, now this is important, this stuff that I've got highlighted here. Remember that this is a template, and while you should consider all the following elements a must-have in your sales copy, your product may be better suited if you add or remove certain elements. Okay? The more sales letters you write and review with other marketers' sales copy, the better you will get, and the faster you'll be able to write your own. Okay? So you're going to want to remove this stuff that I've got highlighted from your index.html file. Okay, this was just a couple of notes that I threw in there for you to let you know you don't have to use absolutely everything here, guys, but if you had sort of the idea of the ultimate sales page that had every different type of sales device within it, this would be it. Okay, so it's up to you to decide what you want to use, what you don't want to use, and pull out the stuff that you don't want. Okay, but it gives you a good guideline so that you can put together a really cool sales page. All right, so we're going to start. We start right here. Put your attention-getting pre-headline here to set up your main headline. Just a couple of lines will do. Okay, and it's fairly small. So when these two paragraphs are gone, this guy is going to be right up here where this remember that this is starts. Okay, so we'll just scroll down. So this essentially will be the top of your page right there. Okay, so there's your pre-headline. Your pre-headline sets up your main headline, just a couple of lines. Then you have, remember I talked about this in the presentation, put your benefit-oriented main headline here. This is your big one, okay? This is your big, bold headline that's going to pull people in. Capitalize each word and put it in quotes, like you're telling it to people. And remember what I said back in the presentation, things like asking people questions, okay? Are you tired of this happening or that happening? Are you fed up with this? What's the biggest thing that you find problems with this or that? Whatever it might be, okay? It's like you're talking to them, and it looks that way, okay? Even with this generic headline in here, the fact that it's got the quotes on it makes me think when I look at it, hey, somebody's talking to me, right? Does that come across? Okay. Under that, use a few subheadlines to stress the main benefits of your offer. Okay. Misspelled here, there. Here is where I like to put a sample or maybe a sales video, but this is optional as well. Okay. Quite often now, you'll see many sales pages that just have, you know, a pre-head, a headline, a subhead, and a video, and then a buy button down here, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I would encourage you to try different things. We've talked in previous webinars about testing. Testing is a very important part of internet marketing because we don't know what works best unless we test it. So you could test, you know, this is a long sales letter. You know, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, I'm just scrolling down here so you can get an idea of it. There's the bottom. So there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of information. And you can use all of that. You can use some of it, or you can change it. You know, you can put, instead of where this line is here, you can have a video sitting here. Be a nice black box, people with a big play button in the middle, where people can play and watch a video. Okay? Now, next up, we've got sort of a little salutation. It's almost like this is your little, the beginning of your sales letter. Okay? It's sort of from you, the date when it's coming out, and it's sort of an official opening to your sales letter or your sales page. Okay? Your opening paragraph needs to draw the reader into your page and hold their interest. You could tell them the 2 or 3 major benefits they receive from reading this letter, or you could state a little known fact or ask a question that creates curiosity as to what you're about to reveal to them. Okay? And again, guys, this is really important. Review several other marketers' sales letters for inspiration and ideas. And I'll be honest, that's how I do it. I will purposely opt in and check out somebody's sales letter just for the fact that I want to see how they created it, how they laid it out, what colors did they use, what fonts did they use, how many things are bold, okay? Are the headings really huge or are they smaller? Have they used any italics? So this is sort of your little preamble. Then you get into telling them who you are. Okay? Introduce yourself. What's your background, your expertise, why they should listen to you, so on and so on. This is important too. Show some empathy here. Identify with their problem. We went over this previously in the presentation, but it bears repeating again. Identify the problem. Show some empathy. Continue on with your sales letter. Introduce possible solutions, especially yours. Hey, I created this product and it solved my problem. This is what I did, okay? So this is where you can talk about, all right, I was having the same problem as you. You know, we identified the problem here. Now, I was having the same problem, but hey, I created this cool product that solved the problem for me. I found a solution, okay? So talk about your solution right here. Then introduce some examples. Give a demonstration or describe a case study that you did, okay? Give them examples of even just one of the techniques you reveal in your offer, okay? Give them a little tidbit of information, a little teaser, if you will. Tease them with a little bit of information about what the product does, and they'll be more apt to want to read on and, of course, to buy. Now is where you get into talking about all the benefits. Okay? Notice that this does not say features. This says benefits. We want to talk about benefits to the reader. All right. Now this is kind of cool. Really pile it on. After the headline, this is the most important section. Use bullets, bolding, and italics to make this section stand out. You want to make sure that even the skimmers, remember I talked about the people that skim? They just scroll through, they skim, okay, all right, how much does it cost? Yada, yada, yada. What's in it for me? Okay? So even the skimmers will see this section and pause to read it because they see these bullets. Okay, it's bullet after bullet after bullet. Oh, these must be benefits. Okay, I'm gonna read these. Okay, again, they want to know what's in it for me. That's why I've got that highlighted there. And you see what I've done here too? Every other paragraph, every other bullet, this one's bold, this one's italic, this one's bold, this one's italic. You'll see this very often, and it's very effective because it breaks things up. Okay, it breaks it up enough so that you can really quickly, if you're skimming, if you're going through at this kind of speed right here, you can see, oh, those are different points. Okay, right? And then this is a great way to end with your final bullet and much, much more. Let them know that, okay, these are some great benefits that I've showed you, but there's even more than that. And that's where this line comes in. Now, introduce your testimonials. This is something I didn't mention in the presentation earlier, but very, very important. The reason I didn't mention it is because I know that a lot of you are just getting started and it's difficult for you to get testimonials. But that's not to say that you can't get them. What's the best way to get a testimonial? Give something to someone for free, ask them to try it, and let you know what they think of it. Okay? It's very important to include testimonials. And quite often you'll see them in a sales letter inside a box like this. So that you could start out with a quote that they're talking about with their testimonial and then give the entire testimonial. So this one quote may be part of one of the paragraphs below, okay? But this is the main thing you want them to know that person said about your product. They're pleased about it. They got the benefit from it that you should. So this is the benefit that they experienced. Okay, we got 2 testimonials here that you can change up. Okay, so again, give your stuff to someone you trust that will take it and use it and give you an honest bit of feedback about your product. Okay, because let's face it, even if you just have 2 testimonials from 2 friends of yours who took this and used it, took your product and used it, it's better than nothing. Better than not having any testimonials. Okay? Now, it's time for your irresistible offer. Okay, this is where you tell them what you're going to offer them. What are they going to get? All right? You've told them the benefits of it already. They sort of know that they need it, but what exactly is in it for them? This is where this comes in. Your irresistible offer. Once you've made your offer irresistible, answer the one question on their mind. Give them a reason for making such a great offer. So, quite often I'll use this. What's the catch? Because you've made it sound so awesome here, so irresistible, you make the offer irresistible, they think, there's no way it can be that great. So they ask, what's the catch? So you kind of take it a step ahead of them and you say, you asked that question already. Okay? What's the catch? In the last section, I made you an offer so good that only a fool would pass it up. So now you have to answer this one last nagging question. And this is where you talk about that. What's the catch? Well, quite often what I'll say is there isn't one. It's that good. Okay? And I threw this line in here again, guys. Again, review several other marketers' sales letters for inspiration and ideas. Next, we're going to take away their risk. Everybody loves to have a guarantee. They want to know that, hey, this product, I stand behind it 100%. I know it will work for you, but in the unlikely event that it doesn't, and it's not exactly what you want, and it doesn't solve your problem as I've told you, no worries. I will give you a 100% money-back guarantee. No questions asked. For the longest period possible. Now, a word of warning, if you are using something like ClickBank to sell your products, then I know for a fact they have a minimum 60-day money-back guarantee. Quite often, 60 days is a pretty typical duration for a money-back guarantee on a product online. Okay? There are a lot of them that are 30 days, but for the most part, 60 days is pretty much the norm from what I've seen. Okay? Whatever it is, you know, it should be at least 30 days. Let me put it that way. It should be at least 30 days, preferably 60. The longer the period that you're offering their money back, the more trust they're going to put in the product, because they see that you're standing behind it for 2 months. 60 days is a long time for them to have that product, use it, and decide whether or not it's working for them, right? And it's still, even if it's day 60, you'll still give them 100% of their money back. No questions asked. Now, this, I don't want to say the word shady, but this is a little bit of a, what's the right word? It's a bit of a situation where you're counting on them to either use the product, love it, and never ever consider wanting their money back, or they buy it and, let's be honest guys, they may never use it. Okay? And the chances of them remembering in 60 days that they even bought it from you are pretty remote. Okay? Now, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. People buy so many products online on a daily basis, it's just outrageous. If people took the time to promote and to sell just products that they believe in, and people then bought those products based on the belief of the seller, it would be really, really simple. But it's not. Everybody is selling everything they can get their hands on, and people are buying it. I mean, I went through this myself. I was a shiny object buyer for a long time. I would see an offer like this, a swank sales page like this, and I thought, oh man, this is the best thing. I'm going to buy this because I'm going to be able to use it right away. I can see myself using it and making money with it. And you know what? I probably never opened the folder that came with it. I maybe never decompressed the compressed file that I downloaded, because the honest truth is I was probably looking into the next product that was coming down the pipe. Okay? It's terrible to say that, but it was the truth. And I hope you guys are not in that situation. If you are, please stop. Okay? Stop what you're doing. Stop buying every new shiny object. Okay? This is a great sales page template, but please only use this to sell products that you either created yourself or that you're an affiliate for and totally believe in yourself and you use yourself. Okay? Don't be what do they call them? A burner. Somebody that's got a new product out every week or every 3 days, and they're selling it to anybody who will whip out their credit card and buy it. Okay? That's not how you build a strong, loyal email list. This template I'm giving you should be used for specific products that once you've built your relationship with your email list, they trust you, they know that what you're selling them is going to be quality, that you use it yourself and you wouldn't recommend it if you didn't think it was great and it was going to help them. That's what this is for. Okay? So keep that in mind, please, as you are moving forward with this. Now, the next little strategy you can try is the warning, the scarcity warning. And honestly, if you try this, in a lot of cases, they'll want it even more. If they're on the fence, if they've made it to this point, sorry, my phone's going off there. If they make it to this point and they still haven't made a decision to buy, then they are going to be the fence sitters. Okay? So this is when it's a good time for you to say, okay, if you're on the fence, you haven't made a decision yet, then I want to tell you, I've only got so many copies left at this price. Okay? It's creating that fear of loss. You're creating a fear that they will not get a copy. Okay? Because you only have so many copies left. You don't want them to miss out, so you're going to let them know you only have X number of copies at this price. Okay? You can try that with certain things. To be honest, I don't use that very much. Sometimes I'll put a time limit on it. I'll tell them, okay, it's going to, and you can change this copy to read that way. You don't have to say, a number of copies. It could be a time limit. You could say that I'm offering it to you at such and such a price for the next 7 days. But after that, the price is going to double. So get it now at this price, or it's not necessarily fear of loss anymore, it's fear of paying more. Okay? You give them that sense of urgency that they need to get it now, they need to take action now rather than later. Okay? Then you're going to tell them exactly how to order. Okay? This is very important. And getting back to ClickBank again, I sell some products through ClickBank, and you, as part of their process, you have to be very clear in terms of telling your audience how they order your product in your copy. Okay? So don't confuse them and don't put up any artificial barriers. Okay? Explain precisely the how, what, and when of placing an order. Take their payment in as many forms as you can: cash, check, or credit card. Usually now it's not so much cash, it's usually credit card or PayPal. Okay? Let them order however they want, but let them order. Okay? Then you have this little section here in your typical dotted line box. Okay? Your buy now button. You're telling them how much it costs. Get your copy now for only $20. And again, you could elaborate on that and say, get a copy for the next 7 days for $20. After that, $40. Okay? Then they've got the big buy button. And the buy button is something, if you're using PayPal, for instance, then you can set up your buy button through PayPal, and you just pop in the code here, and this will populate with your very own buy button that will take them directly to PayPal. Everything's taken care of, and it's really awesome. If you guys are selling a product online, I'd highly recommend using PayPal. Okay, if you don't have an account yet, set one up. Set up a business account in PayPal. Easy to do. And once you do that, you can create your own buy buttons. Okay, and I think there's something about that in the how-to file that you get with this package. Okay. Now, what happens if they don't order now? Explain the consequences. As I just said, remind them of their pain. Okay? You can remind them of their pain. Then end on a positive note by giving them a way out, something like, go ahead and order right now. I know you'll be happy you did. Okay? Sincerely. And then it's always a good idea to put a scanned image of your signature there, and then your name. Okay? This is kind of an official thing, like you've actually signed the letter at the bottom. And you've said, okay, that's it. I've given you the offer, and hey, here we have another opportunity for them to buy. So if this one didn't get them, and they have to get that little bit more of encouragement here in your final words, they have another option here. Same thing. Another good thing to throw in at the end always are some PSs, some postscripts. Okay? Always restate your offer, discuss the major benefits, and tell them to take action now. It's your final opportunity to tell them to take action. It's that call to action that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. Your postscript, you can restate any scarcity factors or the pain that they will continue to feel if they don't buy now. Re-emphasize your primary benefits and how those will eliminate their pain or frustration. Okay? And that brings you to the bottom of the sales page, where you have all of those support, privacy, disclaimer, terms of service files that I showed you in the folder as well. Okay? And then your little header where you can put your title of your product there again. Okay? So guys, there is a full sales page template for you, free of charge to use, change, do whatever you want with it, and hopefully it works for you. But even if you use it as a guideline, there's lots of great information as you read through this. Obviously, it's set up to look like a sales letter, but it's got tons of great information in there on writing your copy for your sales letter itself. Okay? So even if you just take it and read through it and use it as a guide, and you don't do any of the changing of the code and stuff to use it for your own purposes, that's cool. The main thing is that you get something out of it, and that you're able to use a portion of it anyway to help you to set up your own sales pages. Okay, so enjoy that. It's with my compliments. I'm giving you that. Again, we're back to the presentation. Here's the link again. buildyoursuccessonline.com/free-stuff. The link is there, ready to go. I'm going to leave it there indefinitely, so it doesn't matter if you're watching a replay of this webinar years from now, you can still go there and get it. Hopefully that type of sales letter will still be something that is of some use in a few years. I can't really see it changing too much. Again, the biggest change I've seen is people adding more video to their sales pages and making them maybe a little more simplified. But again, it depends on the offer, on the product that you have to sell. Okay, so now that I've given you a gift, let's move on to our tonight's 5 ways to make money online. I'm going to rush through these guys. We're almost at 1 hour. I'm sorry for keeping you so long, but I hope you found this stuff to be useful tonight. I hope you've got your link written down so you can go grab that sales page template. Number 46, Amazon Mechanical Turk. Get paid to complete little tasks on Amazon Mechanical Turk. Some examples of tasks include searching the web for certain products or answering questions and giving opinions. There's usually a time limit of anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, and pay ranges from a few cents to a few dollars. So it's a good thing if you're maybe an Amazon user or seller already. It's maybe something you can look into to help supplement your income even more with Amazon.com. 47. Giving your opinion pays. You can sign up to take surveys about products and services and get paid for it. Sites typically pay $2 to $5 per completed survey and will send you a check or deposit to your PayPal account, or gift cards or merchandise once you reach $20 in your survey account. Now, I do one myself. I actually just have an app on my smartphone, and they send me, I actually got 2 surveys today that I haven't looked at yet. They usually have a time limit on it. You have to be careful though. There are a lot of scams out there. Avoid participating in anything that charges a fee up front to participate. They shouldn't be charging you to do a survey. Okay? So be careful with that. The one that I do with my app, it literally just sends me a survey. I go on my app on my smartphone. It usually only takes a minute or so to complete the survey, and most of them pay something like 10 cents or something. And once I get to a point where I have built up to about $10, it'll pay out to my PayPal account. Okay? But look into it. There are other ones that pay higher, the $2 to $5 range per survey. So look into it. 48. IntelliShop. IntelliShop.com pays you to shop at stores in your area and write a review of your experience. It's like you're being a ghost shopper, okay? That kind of thing. So you can sign up and they will ask you, you can state where you live, and they can ask you if you would go and shop at a particular store and then write a review of your experience. And then they sell that information back to that particular store and the owners, that company, so they can get feedback on what's actually happening at their stores. Okay? 49, eJury. This is a cool one. eJury.com is an online platform for mock juries and focus groups that allow large groups of people to help attorneys determine case value, develop case themes, find the facts to emphasize, and learn public attitudes about them. This platform help attorneys prepare for their trials. Okay? You can earn $5 to $10 per verdict rendered as a mock juror for practice trials. Okay? So that's kind of a cool one if you're into law and find that interesting. Maybe you've been on an actual jury before, or you want to be on a jury at some point. This is a cool way to do it, and you can earn a little bit of cash with it at the same time. And finally, number 50, your 50th way to make money online, be an online tutor. If you've been looking for online teaching jobs, tutor.com offers tutors the opportunity to help students all over the country without ever leaving your home, office, or dorm. So it's a good thing for students too. What this website does is connect tutors to students in their online classroom. Tutors will use the tools of the classroom to share resources, explain complicated diagrams, and review papers together. So if you're maybe a student who's looking for a career as a teacher, it might be a great thing for you, or just a student who's on the ball and you know your stuff and you would enjoy helping other people who are maybe struggling with a subject. You can be an online tutor. Go to tutor.com and check it out. So there you go, guys. Try at least one of these strategies soon and you will see a gain in your online success. Okay? And with that, thank you so much. We're just over the 1 hour mark. This, I think, is my longest webinar yet, but I hope you found some value in it. Excuse me. I hope you found some value in it when it comes to setting up your sales page and actually selling your product, because let's face it, that's why we're here. We're here to sell products to buyers, and setting up an effective sales page is a really big part of that puzzle. Okay? One final reminder to check out my Facebook group, Frustrated Online Marketers, and I would love it if you would join my group and give your feedback, your input to other frustrated online marketers, people just getting started. There's other people in there that have been there for a while and can give great advice to you if you are just getting started, and we can all share our ideas as we work to build our success online. Okay? So check that out soon. Frustrated Online Marketers, the Facebook group. And once again, there is that free sales page template that you can go grab right now. buildyoursuccessonline.com/free-stuff. While you're at my blog, click around. You can grab my, we can go there right now and take a look. Here's your download link right here. And right over here, you can get instant access to my Affiliate Marketing Supremacy ebook and updates from my blog. Just pop in your email right here and click sign up now, and it's yours free of charge, and along with that sales page template. All that right there on one page, and you can check out some of my recent posts. This is one of the products that I sell myself. I use myself. We're actually using it right now in the conference room. It's called pureleverage.com. So you can click this link anytime you're at my blog. Check out more information. There's a cool video there. Check it out. If you have questions, just head on up to the contact link up here in the menu and hit me up with a question. I'm always here ready to answer your questions. Just pop in your message there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can and get you an answer. Okay? But Please download your free template. If you have questions about how to use it, please do contact me. All right? I'm here to help, and I will get you an answer as soon as I can. Once again, buildyoursuccessonline.com/free-stuff. Go grab it now. Guys, thanks again. It's been awesome. Thanks so much for taking part in my free webinar series. And I look forward to the next series, which will be coming up fairly soon. I'll give you notice if you're on my email list. You'll get plenty of notice of that. And I'm just working on some new material right now to get better stuff to help you build your success online. Take care, guys, and I will see you soon. We'll do a few Q&As. I don't have a lot of time, but we'll do a couple, okay? Thanks very much again. Bye-bye for now.